everybody, John the Phone Guy here, and welcome to Watch Talk Live. And today we've got another amazing collector, Invicta family member on today. And so many of you probably know him. He's called in a few times. If you were on the cruise, he was hanging out with us back at the back of Lido deck and watching the broadcast and did some snooba with Godfather. Kenny is a big Instagram, so if you want to follow Kenny, I will put that up here in 2 seconds. So here we have his Instagram page, and it's KCS Timepieces. And then also on Facebook, it's Invicta Enablers. So let me bring that up real quick. Where are we? There we go. Let me get the other one up here real quick, just so everyone kind of gets a sense of where everybody is at. All right, so there's the Invicta Enablers group on Facebook for anyone that wants to join and be a part of all of the enabling that goes on in the family. But with that, let's bring up the man of the hour, Kenny.
What is going on, John?
Hey, bud.
How are you?
Good, good. So, 1 second. All right. So, if you wouldn't mind, for anyone that may happen to be driving by and not know you and I, you want to give a kind of a rundown of your background and watches and Invicta and all that for everyone?
Yeah, man. I'm a fairly new collector. Started collecting about a year and a half ago. Just basically started because I needed a watch for work. We couldn't have our cell phones out on the floor anymore or anything like that. So, uh, just basically needed a watch for work. I went to my local Sam's Club. I was looking for something else and stopped by the watch counter over there, and I saw my Invicta Bolt, which I unfortunately don't have next to me, but um epic failure. But yeah, so started with the my first Bolt, and then every time I went to a different store, I always found myself walking over to the watch counter, and then found out about Shop HQ and everything else, and it just steamrolled from there. Unfortunately, it's been crazy. Like, the amount of watches I have collected in a year and a half is it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
It's
Probably have,
easy. It's definitely easy, isn't it?
yeah, and you guys don't make it any harder. You Trap, Vic, yeah, not so
What?
much, not so much you, but Trap, Vic, again Trap, again Vic. Those are Nemesis 1 and 2 when it comes to enabling for me. So and
They
and
are
and
they are
Dicker
the yin they are the yin and yang of Invicta enabling. If they don't get you on the light side, they'll get you on the dark side of the force.
it's true. And Dickerson's creeping his way up there too.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
He's sneaky, man. He's that he doesn't just come out flat out and say it, but he's sneaky. Yeah, Dickerson, you are getting called out.
So you talked about your first watch and everything. before that, and you just needed a watch. Were you ever like growing up? Were you interested in watches or anything, or just not really that big of a?
I had a couple like fossil pieces.
Mhm.
When I was like high school age, things like that. Just had
Right.
something on the wrist. Nothing too major. My first real watch was when I graduated college. My parents bought me a Movado,
Okay.
and then I actually don't wear it much anymore because it is kind of small. It's a classic,
Yeah.
gentleman's quote unquote size. I think it's like a
Yeah.
43 millimeter.
33, 38, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
may be a 40 or 41,
Okay.
if that. But it's actually not the typical Movado, like the round Movado. It's more of a square Movado. So it's actually in the shop right now for repair. But
Oh, okay.
I sent it back in the Movado for service.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because I mean, I'm an old fart, so I mean, growing up and watches, and of course, we didn't have cell phones and all the things we have now. So I'm kind of curious, I mean, you're in that younger generation as far as the you see things come and go, and like sometimes I think watches aren't as big of a thing. I remember even in school, like you had to learn how to tell time on an analog clock, like little hand, big hand, all that stuff. And I mean
Right.
that went away so long ago. So I'm just kind of curious, to see as the generations and all of that change, if that's somewhat of an influence, like you know from that standpoint.
I had an Apple Watch, like one of those digital smartwatches.
Hmm.
Um, there was one day I actually ripped it off my wrist and like threw it somewhere. I couldn't stand the thing anymore. Um, like I threw it in like my house somewhere, and then like 2 months later I found the damn thing, and I turned around, and I put it up on Facebook, and I sold it. Um, I couldn't deal with it. Like between my wrist vibrating every time I got a text message or an alert on something,
Uh-huh.
like it would drive me absolutely insane. And at that time, I still wore my watch on my right wrist. So every time if I would be writing something, my
Uh-huh.
wrist would start vibrating as I'm writing, and it would
Uh-huh.
nope, gone, bye, out of here.
Yeah. So
Absolutely not.
so I guess because you usually, who influenced you to get into Invicta, but kind of it was, your own, of your own doing, so to speak. It wasn't like, hey, I saw somebody or a friend of mine or a family member or something like that. You just kind of happened across it, and then from there you just kind of picked up on it. Like, when did you like start getting serious? Was it around the cruise or a little bit before it?
A little bit before it.
Okay.
By the time the cruise came around, I had already had probably about 35 to maybe 40 pieces.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Um, and then by the time the cruise was over, I had about 55. It was not good. I went way overboard. Um,
Literally, right?
yeah. It would have been easier to jump overboard than deal with the value pays that I had from everything else. But man, it was something I needed a bulkier watch because I know how like clumsy I can be at times. And I was, at the watch counter and just looking for something, and I saw like Seikos and I saw
Mhm.
Citizens and things like that. And I saw the Sam's Club had a couple Movados. I'm like, I'm definitely not buying a Movado.
Right.
Um, but I just needed something that I thought was gonna,
Hold
be
up.
able to take a beating.
Hmm.
Um, and I saw the Bolt, and it was just like,
Yeah.
that looks like a tank can drive it over, and it'll still
Keep on
work.
going.
So yeah.
So Tommy's got a good one. So what made you change from right to left?
Um, it was actually because the bracelet on the bolt is fairly thick, and when I was writing, it was more on the uncomfortable side.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, time to switch. And I always knew that you're supposed to wear it on your opposite hand,
Well,
but
it's not a well. I mean, it's a traditional thing just because I think in general, and this I'm spitballing here, but in general, when you're thinking about olden days and things like that, is that you don't necessarily put things on your dominant hand just for ease of movement and everything. So, like
right.
if you're doing something, then you're non-dominant. You can look and see what time it is, or you know, and all of that. It may even who knows, but yeah.
And I would say probably about 90% of the time I'll have it on my left now. But
Hmm.
if it's a bulkier piece where throughout the day it just gets heavy, for maybe, a half hour or so, I'll take it off my left and I'll just put it on the right just to give my left wrist a break a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Also known as a sea hunter.
yeah, sea hunters,
Sea Hunter.
uh,
If you've
uh,
got a Grant Venom,
Tria,
a Zeus, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
the Man of Wars,
yes, yeah.
things
Which
like
is
that.
surprising because the Man of Wars aren't really as thick high as you would think, but they are beefy in just the way it's kind of laid out. I love a Man of War design.
I do
Um,
too.
I've got two or three of them now, and absolutely love how they work and look and everything. Um, Now that Kraken, you've got the 8040N on the Kraken.
I do. I actually have this one, and then I got the blue gold and silver tone
Okay.
version as well, 8040 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we've gone over how long you've been collecting, and probably the please don't show Trias.
Why not, Vic?
Vic's got a thing about Trias. He's and I don't have mine here. He's a bit heartbroken over a few Tria mishaps. So that's like that. That's like his white whale. So Trias are a bit of his white whale. But if you were to say, like you open up a box or whatever, and in general, what would right now, because we all know it changes. What would be your go-to series?
um,
Venom, Sass. You know what I'm saying?
it's right now. It's either going to be a SAS or a normal one.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Now,
like normal ones.
traditional Noma one, like the 47 traditional Noma one.
I have three of the traditionals, and then I have one grand normal one.
Okay, yeah,
But
yeah.
the grand normal one was the first Noma that I got, and I actually got that in store in Jersey. But uh, I think it's 54 if I remember right.
I think
It's
yeah,
beefy.
it's 54 or 56.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's definitely up there. I've got one, but I didn't think to bring it out. But yeah, those are. So, do you have the Grand Three?
I only have one three, and it's the
Oh,
one that I have on the rubber strap that's in my Snoopy picture with that Godfather took.
okay.
That's the only three that I have, and I actually bought that on the cruise specifically because I knew I was going snuba,
Hmm.
and I needed a decent water watch, and I knew that thing would hold up. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Absolutely. Okay. Well, we've kind of gotten through the get to know you phase a little bit. So let's go into the let's have Kenny wow us with a few pieces here.
all right. Well,
Because I'm gonna see, and for everyone in the chat, I just want to say a lot of times, um, I really appreciate all that Smitten does behind the scenes because she's running all of the pop ups and saying hello to everyone. And it's not that I am trying to ignore people in the chat, but I'm trying to be focused on our interaction of what's going on and everything. So if I'm not acknowledging a hello or something like that, please don't take it as though I'm doing this any other way other than I'm really wanting to kind of focus on talking to you or whoever it is on the other
Right.
end at the time, so that everyone in the audience and me myself, I mean, we talked a lot, and we sat, like I said, we sat back there at the back of 9 by the pizza pie and all that for hours on end, and
Mm-hmm.
talking and looking and discussing stuff and sizing watches and just going over everything. But even that, there's still things that I mean, we're all kind of, getting to know each other, and I mean,
Right.
that's really what I enjoy, and I really have to say thank you to everyone that is either been on, is coming on, or is in the audience participating, because it means a lot to me that you know that you're enjoying this. So
Absolutely. All right. Um, trying. All right. Let's start with these. So I actually got these um new old stock. Probably not long after the cruise.
okay,
Invicta stores, I guess, went into their warehouse and found some new old stock pieces that are just old school classic. So they posted these two reserve speedways from a couple of years ago, um, and was um, this one was a tough one because when they posted the information for them and all the specs, they didn't post a lot of information on like movements or anything like that. It was just
right.
automatic quartz, anything. So they didn't have like if it was a ETA, if it was a Valjoux,
Is that an old school Leviathan? I'm curious. I'm not. The case looks familiar, but I'm not. The bezel doesn't look Leviathan to me. What do you know what
So
that
it's
is?
actually Speedway, an old school Speedway.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Um,
okay. See, if I'd have paid
the
attention, you probably said that.
you know, eh,
Yeah, I'm old.
we're all getting there, man.
Hey,
Um,
it beats the alternative, right?
ain't that the truth? I'm trying to.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't even. But
Richard validated us, so we know we're right now. If Richard said Speedway, then we know it's a Speedway.
yeah. So this is actually an automatic skeleton movement. I'll try to pull it a little bit closer for
Okay, yeah, I
um,
see. Yeah, I can see some of the movements, and yeah,
and then
cool
in the
design.
back. And
Okay,
I think, if I remember right, I think I contacted you. I
was
contacted
that the
Bob
one?
Cohen.
Okay, okay, yeah, I remember you hitting me up and RJ and a couple of people to find out what it was.
Yep.
Did RJ ever get you?
So it was tough to track down. He actually
Yeah,
had to like RJ did some intense research for me on it, and Bob also did some intense research for it.
right.
Um, but it's a ETA 2824
Okay.
movement on it.
Wow.
So
Yeah, yeah.
definitely an old school movement on that one.
Yeah,
And
that's my. I
then
mean, I so of my, and there's I mean, I know Richard's in here, and there's quite a few that especially Godfather's got old movements. Um, Probably the one thing that I regret is not finding out about Invicta sooner, to at least have had a shot at a Valjoux and a Valgrange A07 and some of the unique
yeah.
um, movements that are out there
Do
that
you
are
have a
probably not.
Valjoux or no?
No, I don't have either. I don't have a
Oh,
I don't I don't personally have an ETA. Smitten has a couple of her watches that she's gotten that has ETA. So I don't have ETA, I don't have Valjoux, and I don't have a Valgrange either any
okay,
of them. So when you
okay.
guys were the other day when you guys were talking about that when Shop came out and said, they had some they just threw some Valjoux out there, and all of a sudden they
I
were
was
just like gone. I
shocked.
was like, I by the time I heard about it, it was smoke in the wind, man. I was like, oh, that kills
I
me.
was lucky. I think they only had maybe 3 to 5 of each piece, if that. I was
Wow,
lucky to get one of the sub ones,
nice.
and it's
Okay,
my first and only Valjoux.
yeah, that's nice.
But I'm always looking for more. Like I'm always looking on eBay because people, throw Valjoux up on eBay quite a bit.
Yeah, and depending on what it is and everything,
Yeah.
um, sometimes they're extremely proud of it and price it accordingly, as I always say.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not willing to thump that in one shot. But I mean, I can, but I think if I was in their shoes, I would feel the same way about trying to um, hold on to it for a price that I mean, you're in the catbird seat. I mean, it's one of those. I don't need to sell it. If you want it more than I want to keep it, then you're going to pay what I want for it. And
Right.
so yeah, no, I completely understand.
100%.
I mean, maybe one of these days, all of that will change and they'll come back around again. But yeah.
I don't know because from what I understand,
Oh yeah, no, I know.
that
Yeah. I
they're
mean,
locked for a
they've
while.
yeah, they've locked themselves down, and that's fine. I mean, it may be 10 years, and maybe all of a sudden they leak some out or whatever it is. Who knows? But
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, I'm prattling on. This ain't about me.
Um.
I'm getting the eye from the executive producer to be quiet.
I need to see if I can borrow her for my Monday night shows. Um, because it's not easy doing these things, but
I'm telling you, I'll be 100% straight up right now. Everything that she does behind the scenes and logging in and keeping it moving and monitoring for shenanigans
hmm.
and everything else. In fact, I'm gonna sidetrack for one quick second. Hey, Mary. So
Hi,
I
Mary.
well, I'm in. So I officially have my first prototype of my logo on a
Nice.
shirt. So we're getting there. Um, we've ordered some other stuff that hopefully everyone that's been on and is gonna be on will be seeing something in the mail soon. So working on all that. But
Awesome.
anyway, now I'm really gonna be quiet.
Trap shenanigans. Yeah. Um. So this is another speedway, and I'm still. I think this is a like a G10 movement. Um, if I remember
Okay.
right. Um, I know all the speedways did have some kind of ETA movement in it in this line.
Okay.
So I think this might be the G10. Um, but the reason I picked up, I just love the combination of black and rose gold. To me, it just looks rich, and this one is nice and fairly thin, so I can definitely put it under a like I had to wear suits and everything for a lot for my last job, so I could definitely get it under a suit cuff, which was a plus. So that's the
Right.
main reason I got those two. I think they're both in like the 46 millimeter range, so they're not overly huge. They can definitely you can definitely get away with being those as a like a dressier type of watch. Um, and then I heard you were talking about this the other day with another guest. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Godfather actually about the Platinum Select line. Um,
Mm, I know Godfather and I talked about it some. Yeah, the Platinum Selects are very much a soft spot right up there with the Heritage. So
hmm
yes,
I have one Platinum Select, and I got it same kind of thing, new old stock off of eBay.
okay,
Um, but it's the Akula with the gold and green. I call this
okay,
my St. Patrick's Day watch.
right,
So
okay,
I'll be wearing this one on I guess Wednesday I think it is. Um,
cool. So that's
and
definitely one that I missed on when it came through. Um, I have three Platinum Selects, but that one definitely I missed. And
yeah,
I think probably
yeah,
the reason I missed it is a few years ago. And I, call me stupid, but um, it's Akula was not my first choice. Oh,
right.
Godfather, what collection do you have the most of right now?
Definitely specialties, Sobaka specialty.
The SAS.
Yep,
What are you looking
by
at?
far. Well,
Double.
right next to me, I have all of my sasses, and I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got 10 next to me and one more on the way.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and a lot of my sasses are actually split between um got too much stuff next to me. Between bracelet and band. Um,
Okay.
I wore this one the other day and put it up as my watch of the day.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Um,
Mm-hmm. The elegant.
so yeah, the elegant with the leather band.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this one online, and once again another eBay find. Um, and a couple of the sasses that I have are they're kind of I call them like Frankenstein stands,
Mm-hmm.
Frankenstein pieces because they're pieces that either they replace um the band with a leather strap or um something else
Right,
is
right. So
just not.
there's been
Yeah,
some level of post mod on them. Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's on a like a brownish leather strap, but it's a GMT.
Yeah, I see that.
um it's almost puppyish, I guess, kind of,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, because you've got. Let's see. I see green on the 24, red and orange and white.
uh, Red, no orange, just
Oh, oh,
red, white, and green.
okay, got it, got it. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
um, I actually don't wear this watch a ton, and I really should because I just love the way that. First off, I don't think I have a ton of GMTs. I think I may only have like 3 or 4, if that.
yeah.
Um,
So quick one. Vic has to throw in. He hasn't seen any magnums yet, and he wants to know why.
um, I in my life I've only had since I started collecting, I only had one Magnum, and it was the black one with like the slate gray dial that almost looked carbon fiberish, but it was actually like etched into the dial.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
it from
yeah. I
JC
think I know
Penney's.
which
It's the one that JC Penney's always has, in their showcases, and I actually got it there. Um, I actually turned around and sold that watch.
one. Yeah,
Um, it's like I said, I used to wear a lot of suits for work, and things like that.
And
Um,
it's definitely cuff prohibitive.
exactly. And it didn't get the wrist time that it needed. So,
Yeah, I mean,
like I liked it.
like I say, that's Godfather mentioned a similar thing because of his mode of watchwear. Sometimes that limits you. Mary, I know Mary loves a lot of the bigger designs from a design standpoint,
Right.
but if you can't even get a strap small enough to make it fit, I mean, there's always factors that go into it, and
100%.
yeah, I mean, it just
I don't need no Magnum.
he,
Get out of
he
here, Vic.
Trap's like he didn't want that boring Magnum.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Kimon is bringing up the G word.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So
Um,
I I personally would say I have a lot more than just one, but
I have a few.
okay,
I have a few. One of them is, and this one's gonna make Trap jealous. My Diamond Pro Diver with the
oh
abalone subdials.
yeah, yeah.
Um, that's definitely, if I'm going out for a night, and I know I'm going to a nice kind
Yeah,
of, nice
you're
place.
stepping out hard.
That's what I'm wearing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
and if I have like a couple of meetings at work or something like that, and I know I got to impress like bigwigs and execs and things like that, that'll be my go-to.
right, right.
Another one of them, much more subdued, but I love it just the same, is my Pro Diver with the R150.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think I've put this on the bracelet yet. I love it on the
The
Stingray.
Stingray. Yeah,
Yeah. Um
yeah.
it
Well,
just
okay. Let me ask you something then. With that, so you've pulled out two that have diamonds. Do you also have grails that are non-diamond? I mean, because a lot
oh,
of
of
times
course.
I think many people, um, especially we're in the chats, and you see diamond pieces and the grail word gets thrown around a lot. But I always say grail is like beauty. It's all in the eye of the beholder. And
100%.
what one person's grail doesn't necessarily equate. So, I think sometimes, you know, we and I don't think we do it, I know I don't do it on purpose, but sometimes you look at everything that goes into, putting a beautiful diamond, pave or whatever, and you
Right.
appreciate it for the work it's done. But then again, there's some others like, to me, the Heritage line, pre non-Swiss made. I hate to say it, but
Mhm.
those are very much Grail to me.
Yep.
Platinum Selects are very much in that same vein. But
Yes.
then again, I mean, there's some trias. I've got a couple trias that are just amazing. Um, there's some sass that I mean the sass. I'm I know I have a lot of venoms, but I love a good sass too. I mean, I absolutely love the design and all of that. And but
You know,
yeah,
I
I mean,
I got oh, I actually consider like a good majority of my sasses to be grails. Um
careful, you're getting those cases a little too close to each other now. Be
yeah.
easy.
Um
Yeah,
but these are definitely two of them.
yeah,
This is the Heritage,
yep,
and I I love when they pair up rose with aubergine.
yes,
I
absolutely.
absolutely
Yeah,
love it.
that. Yeah, I would say that color combination, and I would love to see them do a gunmetal aubergine.
Yes. Yes. Because I love gunmetal and rose.
Hmm.
Which
Hmm.
which
Yes.
is my
Yeah. Nice
um
Torby. Yeah. Yeah.
my Turby, my Tria Turby. I love the gunmetal and rose combo. I would love to see gunmetal and aubergine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Um,
and Godfather brings out a good point. His very first pro diver to him is a Grail because it's special, and I think that's. I think sometimes we look at Grail. Sometimes we look at it from a price tag, but I mean, you talk to Trap, and I know some of his Grails involve something that was historic in his life, the army,
100%.
something that that DC got him, things like that, and I feel the same way. So I think sometimes it's more about what the watch represents as why
Means
it's Grail,
yes,
um
yes.
than how much it cost or what it has on it. So yeah, absolutely agree,
Um,
Father.
trying to see. I've this one's a grail to me. Um, because I
Okay.
consider this one. This is the Chaos with the R150.
Yep.
Now I got one of each um of the versions. So I got this one with the Mother of Pearl.
Yep.
The I got a meteorite and I got a diamond.
Yep.
Um, out of the three, this is the one that I by far wear the most.
Okay.
Um, and this is the one that I consider my quote unquote cruise grill. Um,
Hmm.
the reason is, uh, and it definitely needs a wipe down, but um, I love the way that this dark mother of pearl bounces off
Yes.
the rose gold.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. When I bought mine, it was there's certain I think so. I think my diamond I did in all silver because I think it
okay,
just the way it looked. But then my other two, which I did, I did the mother of pearl and the meteorite like you did. I believe I did them in the same combo, the two tone with the rose,
right,
and I think there really is something to be said on what what shows up well, as far as like hour markers down to your sweep hands and all the things that go with it.
yeah,
Sometimes there's certain combos that just it pops off the dial. I mean, it's you can look at them side by side and you're like they're both beautiful, but immediately your eye is caught by one more than the other, and yeah, those are spectacular. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So, and I consider that like my cruise grill just because
Oh yeah.
um at first, like I bought a lot of watches on that last cruise. I'm not gonna deny that. Um, it was unhealthy, but by far, I think that that one is the one that means the most to me. The other, next one that means the most to me is um the the Noma 3 that I went snooping with Godfather, just because, like we said, the memories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, and then off the cruise, the last one is my combat chaos because of the Bob Cohen and I were down in the pop up shop down on Five,
Yep.
and um, we were both looking at the watch and going back and forth and going back and forth, and he finally turned around and said, "All right, you take it," and because it was the only one that we saw,
Right, right.
so we're I pick up the watch and like an hour later, I I'm back in the shop just because I ran into somebody and they were heading to the shop, so I decided to take a walk with them. And I went, "Oh, they have another combat chaos. I gotta tell Bob." And it was
Mhm.
just like, just it was more of the just the camaraderie and the interaction
Right.
and joking
Oh, yeah.
around, and that was everything on it.
Yeah. And
I
I mean, that really is so much of the cruise that until you actually get on it, you really
hmm
can't. you can see it, you can watch it on TV, but you really can't experience how much and how often it happens that you could just be standing in line, at the buffet or whatever, getting
Yeah.
waiting on an elevator and just instantly start up a conversation with someone because you notice their watch and you
Yep.
find out that, oh, they live in the town that I grew up, or oh yeah, my mom was, and you start making connections that you never would before. And I think that's the beautiful
100%.
thing about it. I mean, it's just so amazing. So
My
amazing.
favorite, one of my favorite things to do on the cruise, because my cabin, I was down on two, so I was like
Ooh, okay.
way away from everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I was on elevators like
All
all
the
the
time.
time. Yeah, there's no way my fat body is gonna be doing 12 steps of stairs. Ain't happening. Um, I'll do an occasional staircase every once in a while, but I
Yeah,
ain't having no
yeah.
heart attack at sea. Um, so I'm elevator riding a lot, and just that was like one of my favorite things to do on the cruise, was because you're always in the elevator with somebody else,
Yeah.
and even if you don't pick them up on your floor, you pick them up on you pick them up on five, and then they're going up to Toledo where everybody else is.
Hmm.
So you're just going, and for that 15-20 seconds, it is that's messed up, man.
Oh, too funny.
You are going to hear about that tomorrow night on my live. I am coming after you.
Uh,
You may be one of the OGs of Invicta, Godfather, but put them up.
yeah,
Mary,
Mary.
100%.
Absolutely.
It's the
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
Um,
It
and
is.
Mary said I don't think she's ever been on the cruise, right?
No.
Um, if you think like uh our YouTube chats and the Shop HQ chats and everything are awesome. You're gonna get
It's a
blown
whole other
away
level.
by
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, it's because I had done a couple like small pop-up events before the cruise,
Okay.
and they weren't like, at the stores, maybe, 5, 10, 12 people that were
Right.
serious collectors.
Right.
Um, but now you're talking 900, 1,000, 1,500, 1,600
Hmm.
plus that are all there just because they like the brand,
Yeah.
and but it's overdrive, like it's sensory overload.
Yeah.
And for me last year, I think the best thing I could have done last year, the night before the cruise, Invictaholics had their
Yeah. At the
their
party.
pre-party at
Yep.
the hotel.
Yep.
Um, and just going there, that was so laid back, so like just
Hmm.
just awesome. And that was actually really cool because because I did the singles program for the cruise, for the cabin.
Okay.
So I met my roommate at, who the guy that was going to be bunking up with me for the cruise. I
Yeah.
met,
Yeah.
people like
What
Rich
was his name
Oso,
again? I completely.
Craig.
Craig.
Craig. Yep.
I was thinking Greg, but I'm like, no, I knew I was off. But okay, yeah.
And he actually, we still keep in touch. He'll, email me every once in a while, and
Okay.
especially after if I call in or something like that on shop. Hey, heard you call in, great call. Here,
Hmm.
how's things going? Here's what's going on with me, type of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
so he was a good guy, but that was just, that's it. Just like it's the family.
Hmm.
But you're taking a small like event, like a pop up, and just blowing it up,
Yeah.
blowing it
Supersize
up.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Craig
Yeah.
from Arizona, yes, yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I can't wait for the next cruise. I
Yeah.
I
I,
am, yeah. that's where I met you, Godfather, and Rich
Yeah,
and John Christie, um, Courtney and Mike,
yep,
who ran the party.
yeah,
When I first met Gonzo.
yeah, yeah. Because
Um,
he had his table set up.
yep.
It
So,
was funny because I remember it was starting to get dark, and of course, so I literally had a flashlight, and I'm like, standing there holding the flashlight, so he can, look at stuff, and got talking about feeds and everything. I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's so it, and I mean, we've been on other cruises, non-Invicta cruises, and I'm sure
hmm
a lot of people here, and it's not that you don't have a good time, but it's just a completely different vibe that until you're actually in it and experience it, it's hard to really explain it, but it really is its own microcosm of a like a weekend tailgate party that lasts for 3 or 4 days
uh-huh.
with with family, friends, like, and all of that all lumped into one, and you're all
Yeah.
floating around, bobbing in the water, talking about watches, watching shows about watches, and
hmm
meeting everyone, and it's just it, it it's so much fun, and it's so laid back, and everyone gets along. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
I will have to say 2020, and for those who've been on all the others, we didn't go on 17. We went 18 and 19. 2020 was hands down the absolute best to date, because the interactions between all of us was much better. The coordination of the events and everything, um, the ease of just being able to talk to not just the and a lot of people think, oh, I got to talk to RJ and Fatima and all these, but even just
Right.
talking with like all the crew members, like the camera guys and producers and all of that. I mean, it was it was just so much fun to just feed. I mean, I felt like that we were so much more a part of the event, not just watching the event. We weren't just sitting there, looking at it. We were actually in it and around it, and I mean, it
Yeah.
was just so much fun. I mean, it was just
Yes.
absolutely. I know, Christy and I, we missed a couple of the bigger parties because we were back there watching them, broadcasting. But that was so much fun to be a part of it, and sit around with you and oh my God, there was so many of us. Trap was back there. I mean, there was so many of us back there just hanging out.
Oh
It
yeah.
was just so much fun. I mean, oh yeah, Sheldon and Godfather was there, and that one couple we
Um,
met. Yeah, Katie and John, and
Katie and
they were
John, and
yeah they
then
were Florida. Yeah, there was
Rick and Debbie, who I was hanging out with a lot.
yeah
I think
yeah
they came back a couple times.
yeah
Um, my the guy that I was bunking up with, Craig, was back
yeah.
there.
Craig was back there with us
Um,
too.
um,
Oh yeah, yeah. Oso and Mary were back there, and
yep,
all that. And
yep.
yeah, it was.
But it was I I had such a good time. Like,
Yeah,
and I was nervous going into it. Like, I was excited, but I was nervous because I'm like, I'm going solo on a vacation that I don't think
right,
I've ever done that before. And like, I knew names from like all the chats and the
right.
Facebook
Yeah.
groups and thinking, but um just like how warm everybody was.
Yes.
I'm a collector at that time, only collecting maybe 6 or 8 months.
Hmm.
Still fairly new to the whole thing,
Yeah.
but just I remember learning so much on the cruise just from casual conversation.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know how to size a watch before I watched you size the watches that I brought back to you on the back of Lido. And I'm watching you, and we're chatting about it, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I got home and I went out and I bought a sizing kit.
Yep.
But it was just little things like that, and
Oh yeah.
you know learning about movements, and because at that time I was just going purely on the aesthetics of the watch. Did I like the way that
Right.
it looked?
Well, and
You
I
know?
think we all do. And I mean, I have to say, I mean, as aesthetics are still important, which is
Yes.
why I appreciate Invicta's, continually, pushing the boundaries of, you know, design and things like that. And I mean, I think for all of us, at a certain level, you start to understand, like some of the complexities of how a dial is put together and the layers and like meteorite and how it's cut and all these different things. And then you get into movements, and not everyone is into movements, but I mean,
Right.
it's something that and it's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It's just it's like you buy a car and then you start to enjoy the car, and then because of that you read the owner's manual, or you start to talk, or you join a car club to talk
Right.
more about it, to learn even more. And that's kind of what it's like.
Yep. And Christy, yeah, you scared me a little bit when you ran up to me and hugged me the first time, but that's fine. Um, I, I'm a hugger, but I didn't expect anybody to just come up and go, "Oof." Okay. Um, hey, I guess we're on a cruise.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I had, and it wasn't just like the hardcore collectors either. Like it's a lot of people that are, casual collectors, you know, that are just there to try to get a taste of what this thing is all about,
Hmm.
and then they get hooked and then they become a fanatic like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and I know there's, I mean, because they call it Invicta and Friends, and there's, the jewelry lines and all of that, and
mhm,
some of the fashion lines that this past year. So not every single person, even on the ship, is necessarily an Invicta, but and it's fine. I mean, we all, we're all, getting along and doing things, and we got to meet Pam McCoy in person and everything,
right.
and got to talk with her a lot. And she's you know she's really fun to talk to, and to hear some of the stories of her and Kendi, way back in the day and all of that, and shocks and everything. So I mean, it's fun to if you haven't been around, like I say, I only started collecting about maybe 2015. So, for all the years of I mean, we were, part of Evine, but then it was Shop NBC and all the other names that preceded it and everything. But,
Right.
it's fun to kind of, find out, where all these connections came from and all of that. It's just a lot of fun.
And I remember, now that I think about it, I remember flipping through my TV way back when, um, late night type thing.
Hmm.
Couldn't fall asleep, whatever reason it was, and just flipping through the TV and seeing all these crazy. The first watches that I remember seeing from Invicta were the Russian divers that had the chain on the
On the
on
keeper.
the yeah, on the crown guard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember seeing those, and they also had the crossbars on. I remember seeing that one. Um, but I always said back then, I'm like, those are pretty cool watches. Like, eventually, I think I'm gonna get into those, not knowing what they are or anything like that, or anything about the brand or anything. I'm like, but here we are, 5, 6, 7 years plus later, and
Hmm.
it's it's just now an unhealthy obsession.
You know,
But
I mean, it's if you're gonna have an obsession, better this than some of the other ones that are not as healthy. But I mean, may not necessarily be as healthy on your your 401k and stuff. But hey,
I don't even have one of those, so we're good.
you're still young. You got a minute or two. Yeah,
I'm a
absolutely.
side hustle, so but Yeah, speaking of Russian divers,
Yeah.
I just love the way that I love the cradle and everything on these, the case.
Yep. Yeah, that cushion style and everything.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
I like that too.
And I love how they put the on these with they put the crown at the six, so
Yep.
everything kind of rotates
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, it's kind of elegant style.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the red solo cup is nothing but water, Christy. Nothing but water. It's it's Kenny diet season, so
how's the keto going? You doing okay with it?
I kind of am starting off slow with it because I had still so much crap junk food in my house
Mhm.
that I had to like get it
Yeah.
away.
Oh yeah. No,
So
yeah, I get it.
I've been trying to make that go bye bye in my stomach before I do anything else. Um but uh but yeah, now I'm starting to get, more deeper into it, and I got a lot of the junk food out of here, so
Yeah.
um
Well, and the weather's starting to get nicer, so getting out and I know Nashville and everything,
yeah.
has some good places to walk and get around, and
Yep.
so
And we're
Keon's asking,
finally
do you
starting
have
to come out.
a minimum size when you're looking in general?
My I would I would say probably in the 46 millimeter range. Probably my speedways that I showed earlier
Hmm.
are the smallest that I would go. Um, I do have a couple Lupas that are in the 45 to 46 range, but I
Yeah, but
think those
I
are
think that
different.
design kind of lends itself different from how it measures out. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I'd say probably I'd say 47 in general. I do have a couple X wings which technically say 46, but
46.
they don't include the bump guard and the paddles. So it
Right.
really it wears more 50ish than
Yes.
probably most out there. So, but yeah,
Yes.
I agree. Somewhere in that I. But it's funny because I had some. I've got a couple Citizen Echo drives, and I literally had them on the windowsill yesterday, getting the batteries charged back up. And I was
Hmm.
looking at them. I put one on my wrist, and I was like, "Huh, well, okay,
That's tiny. What are
that's
those
pretty
for?
small." And I'm like, "Okay, well,
What is that? Like a 41, 40, 41?
they're probably pushing right around maybe a 40." Because
Okay.
those were probably the bigger ones that they had at the time,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, probably the smallest that I have that I very much cherish. In fact, pull me up a good watch. And I'll be right back.
All right. Um, One of my favorite watches, going back to the Sub Aqua series, is now usually I'll see this on a band, a metal band, but it's my Mickey. So this has a SW 500, yeah, SW 500 in it. Um, but I love the way that this piece looks with the gold on the red band. Um,
Oh yeah,
this is definitely one of my. I love this watch. I absolutely love this watch. I had been hunting this watch probably for a solid year before I found it,
right.
and
Well, and
the
I think
second
that
I this
too is part of the fun is sometimes the hunt for like an older one or an unusual one. I know
yep,
Christy, she'd been on the hunt for a puppy for a long time, a year or better, and actually found a San Juan um, in a full puppy that
yeah,
was unique. But this is probably the smallest watch that means a lot to me, and it's this Hamilton
ooh,
that so that was the Men in Black 2 from the movie.
yeah, yeah,
So that was something that I was I was into watches at that time. When the movie first came out, I had Fossils. I think I had a Kenneth Cole and a couple others. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing that watch in the movie, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta have it! Oh my god, I gotta have it!" I mean, it was just like an obsession. And I remember walking around. I mean, it was funny. We were down in Miami, down at Bayside, huh? Yeah, Bayside, and there was someone selling it, and the price was. I was like, "Whoo!" You know, kind of shook my head, and I was like, "Wow." But yeah, probably 2 years ago, maybe three, two, three, three. Um, Christy got it for me for Christmas, so that was, to
Nice.
me that was a grail of a whole nother thing, just because of, you know, loving the design um, for so long, and that, I think, this watch to me epitomizes Invicta, because it's not just a round leather, here's a watch, have a nice day. It was, let's make a different shape, a different design. And that's what I love about Invicta, is no matter almost anything you pick up, Sea
Yeah.
Excursion,
Yep.
Coalition Forces, Sand 6. I mean, everything is so different. It's not
Right.
just this, oh, you know, I see your watch. Okay, it's about a 40 millimeter something something, but until you get like this close to it, and they say, "Oh yeah, this is my blah 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 blah," and you're like, "Oh, okay." But like, this one, I mean, you can see this Zeus, with the orange and everything, um,
Right.
across the room, and it's just like that. That's what really drew me to watches, which is kind of why, way, way back in the day, I had some Fossils, and I actually still have it. I have an aluminum,
Ooh.
and I mean, it's like, this thing's probably back from the, like, in the 90s. I still have it, and I remember getting it, and the craziest thing, because it's pretty thick and chunky and everything. And I used to say, "Here, check out this watch," and I'd hand it to somebody, and they're like, "Oh, wow, it's so light." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's completely aluminum." And
Right.
it was those details that really started. So then I started a new job, where I'm at now, and I started seeing there was a couple of people that were wearing Invictas, and I noticed it because, I mean, even in general, you're in a coffee shop or whatever, you kind of, notice, watch, watch, and then you say, "Oh, I want Invicta," and it just pops out because it's different,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like, So I started talking to him like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And it's
So
crazy.
if you had to like list one watch in your collection that has that holy cow, what is that factor?
My God, because there's so many for so many different reasons.
Right.
Visually, so if we're just gonna go visually.
Yeah, like if you and I, like if I wasn't a collector and you had a watch on, and we're sitting at a bar or in a restaurant, and I
Hmm.
walk past you and I see that thing and I'm just
Hmm.
like, what is that?
Instantly.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to go graffiti.
Okay.
That would definitely be one. That's one. I mean, I know that's not a line. It's more of a treatment. Um,
Right.
and that's a tough one. I mean, Venoms are so unique.
Mhm.
Sass is so unique. Um, ugh, Jiminy, you're killing me, man.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
yeah, no, I
I
mean,
know.
it. That's like somebody say, pick your top five or top 10. I'm like, no, can't. I mean, I
Right.
can't. Yeah, Sea
Right.
Hunter, Grand Octane, um, course, this one, I mean, you really can't notice too much on it. But this one right here,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a bolt, right? But
Right.
it's ceramic.
Yeah.
So this is one of the ceramics, and I'm not going to show anybody too much because the battery's dead and I haven't changed it. So the date's wrong, everything's wrong. So just everyone calm down. But
Speaking of which, Vic, don't get on my case about dates because some of these pieces haven't been worn in a while. So dates may be off, especially since the end of February. Only 28 days. I may be a couple days off on these things. And
so
don't
so we'll say
don't
from 2 to 4 that there's a moratorium on date police. There's a
bullseye,
yeah,
bullseye.
they're all the date police is permanently ensconced at the counter at the Dunkin' Donut, relaxing for a little while.
Oh man, that's funny. Um, I going on that same line. This
Mhm.
watch, the JT, this is the rose gold and black version.
Yep.
Um, that's okay. Dates matter when it's on the right wrist, the wrist right trap. Okay, okay, all right. So we're good. I haven't gotten these bad boys on in a while. Um, I remember when I first moved to the Nashville area. I was living in a little town called Smyrna, which
Okay.
is maybe 10, 15 miles south of Nashville. And I was sitting at a bar one day, grabbing a bite to eat, having a drink, and this guy comes in with a group celebrating their birthday. And this one guy comes over to me and says, "What is that on your wrist?" And
Right.
it was this one. And
Hmm.
he's like, "That dial is insane." And then with the spinel around it. So, I told him, that I collect watches and things like that. And he goes, "Man, I gotta really start looking into these things." And I think, um, he was pulling up his. I was telling him that where we purchase them all from is like Shop HQ
Right.
and
Right.
things like that. And I was telling him about like Value Pay and really kind of pumping it up to
Hmm.
maybe get a new collector. So he goes off with the rest of his group, and I'm getting ready to head out, and he comes over to me. He goes, "Hey, just so you know, man, I just bought a watch for my birthday." I'm like, "You're with like a group of people here celebrating your birthday to have a good time, and you were on your cell phone. Like, hey, totally cool with me, man."
Right.
But he goes, "Yeah." He's like, "I went on that Shop HQ, and I found I can't remember what he bought, but
Right.
he's like, they have so many cool watches under Invicta." I'm like, "I'm telling you, man," and I'm like, it's not just like the watches themselves. It's like there's a community out here,
Yeah.
and if you want to get in the community, I gave him my number. He texted me once. He had a question about a piece or anything like that, but I haven't really heard back from him since. So I don't know if he kept collecting or anything like that. But yeah, I'm like, this guy's here like with a group to celebrate his birthday, and he's on his phone over there, looking at different watches, and I'm like, you can do that when the night's over. He's like, "No, man." I was like, I
Like now.
I saw
Like
that watch. I'm like, I'm in. I'm like, well, all right then. But
yeah.
that was one, and then my loopers get a lot of attention too. I have a couple different loopers, and they always
Okay.
seem to get some pretty good attention.
Yeah. Well, and that's the
Just
thing. I mean, it's something that it it's different that you can see, and it just it's there's nothing you can do but strike a conversation from it. I mean,
that's it.
yeah. I have
That's it.
I so when we were on the cruise, they had that watch. I think they had it in one of the pop up shops or one of the shops on Five. Um, but I waited because the price was still a bit much. But I actually grabbed that one in the silver that has the orange highlights and the
Uh
black
huh.
spinel. Yeah,
Yep.
though there was like I think it was like 3 or 4 colorways. Yeah, that was stunning for sure.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, they had the at first they only had the silver, the gold, and the rose, and now they come out with every other color.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they've got it. They've got a graffiti version too. I got
Yep,
one of those. Yeah,
yep.
that one's crazy.
I
Yep.
I like a lot of the pieces on the JT line. Um,
Mhm.
just because I think they put like a different a pretty unique twist on a lot of the pieces. Yeah, they're still in the same line as a lot of the regular
Right.
reserves and everything like that, but I think I just love the way like that they put the spinel on it. Like just something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Um, because it just makes it just pop a little bit more. Like
Oh yeah. Totally.
I have that Akula that came out not too long ago, where
Okay.
everybody knows my Akula, the diamond one.
Mhm.
Um, that came out on the band and that I've been eyeing for like months, and I was hounding. I'm pretty sure the reason that they put that watch out as quick as they did
Mhm.
was because I was so I was so far into RJ, like I gotta know when this watch is coming out. And I was on him for like months, months. As soon as I saw that piece on the Invicta stores or on the Invicta watch website as coming soon type of thing,
Right.
and uh, and at first they didn't have the black version, like the combat
Okay.
version with the black spinel. It was only just the diamond one. Um, it was I was like I was on RJ. I'm like, when is this watch coming? And he's like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I'm like, all right. And they finally launched it, and I'm like, they outpriced me on it, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I did pick up the black combat version, so I like it. It's I actually wore it a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Um,
So on that note, sort of, what's your kind of go-to dial material?
I like the darker mother of pearls.
Okay.
Um, so like I showed earlier on my chaos with the dark mother of
Mhm.
pearl, or this sass where it has more like a chocolate kind of mother of pearl.
Yeah. Yeah. The brown. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That full on brown. Yeah. That's a good one.
Um, the mother of pearl is probably my go-to. Probably then diamond, and
Okay.
then um, meteorite would probably go third.
Okay.
Um, I only have I only have one meteorite piece, and
Okay. The
it's the chaos. Yeah.
Right. So Vic is wandering off into Ranger Land for a moment. So
Yes, I did enjoy the game yesterday, and even better news last night is that Kratzoff is on his way to New York to join the team. So there you go, Vic. If you hadn't heard that yet, I did see a couple reports on that. But yes,
uh-oh, uh-oh.
uh,
We had some Islander
don't
talk for a second.
no, get out of here. I'm from the island. I don't want. I've heard enough Islander talk in my 18 years that I lived on the island. Get out of here.
That's like me growing up in my teens and everything in New Jersey. When someone says Bruce Springsteen, I'm like, oh no, no. Like
Billy
growing
Joel
up,
for me.
yeah, this was like, oh no, yeah. Bruce Springsteen took it in the early '80s. Like every sixth song was Springsteen. I mean, it was like he beat top 40 like like a pack mule. I mean, it was it was it was crazy. But yeah, yeah. Vic was saying, yeah, that the mother of pearl that Invicta uses is absolutely stunning.
It
And
pops.
it really does. And you know, I mean, I one of the things I love about when I grab the digital microscope and when RJ and them do it on TV too is you can literally see the natural flow and how it etches itself together is just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I do
So
have, a few of the like the lighter mother of pearl, like my Man of War. has the lighter mother of pearl.
So that's if it's bluish, then that's a platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I love
Um.
a good platinum mother of pearl. Those are stunning.
Yeah. And I love my Man of War, my Turby. Um. I just wish there was a something in there that can give a little bit of color or pop. Not a lot, just like a pinch. Just to like maybe
Like
like
on the dial indicators or something.
yeah, like maybe on like hour indicators,
Right,
just just do them like a little bit of a darker shade. Um,
right.
just because it is like there's not enough contrast in there.
Yeah, and I think sometimes and I don't know if they did it on that one, but sometimes they'll do a two tone, and so like
Yeah,
you'll get a stainless, and then you'll get like a gold bezel ring or something like that. That
right.
kind of actually helps play off the colorways a bit too. Yeah,
Yeah, because going back to like that whole thing, the chaos, the meteorite one I got is
yep,
with the silver bezel.
yeah. The all silver. Yep.
Yeah, and the more I look at this watch, it's just like I just need
Hmm.
little bit of something in there.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
I
That
still
was
wear
the
this
one that I
watch
did in.
100%.
Yeah, when I did my meteorite when we were on the cruise, I did that one with the rose gold.
Hmm.
And the meteorite, and the mother of pearl was with meteorite, but then the diamond was all silver.
I can't remember if because I knew they didn't come out with every version with every dial color. I'm trying to remember if they did the meteorite with the Pepsi dial or with the Pepsi bezel. I don't think they did.
I've not seen it. I've
I
not seen it.
that's my next like go-to piece is I think I want the chaos with
Yeah,
the
the
Pepsi
Pepsi
bezel
was the white mother of pearl. Yeah,
with the white mother of pearl.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's gonna be like and then I think I'll have a whole row of chaoses in my box because I go six wide,
Hmm.
so
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. T. Blue mother of pearl. In fact, Christy just got her the blue label Herc that has blue mother of
Mm,
pearl, and yeah, they don't do enough of it, which I so it's like one of those things. Do you do more and then you see too much of it and it's not as special, or do you keep it? I mean, that's that line that I always fight with internally in my head is, I mean, it's like how many. What's the optimal number of limited edition too? I mean, there's all kinds of, and I've heard all kinds of conversations forwards and backwards on what's a good number, what's too low, what's um
right.
yeah, it's I mean, it's one of those that I think sometimes being unique, um like a puppy, or like one of the things I wish they would do again is they did that one quick single run of the Warner Brothers on the anatomic SAS. So they did Bugs, Daffy, Taz, and Sylvester and Tweety on one watch. But that's it.
Okay.
It was that run. They weren't LEs, I don't believe.
They were just limited
It
productions.
was a one and done, and it was like boom, done. And
Right.
they've never gone back to it. And I've always wondered why they didn't run that a little bit more. But um, yeah, I'd be curious if they, of course, we can sit here and talk about, when's NCAA coming out, and I mean, there's so many other, like, Hanna Barbera, and I mean, there's so many,
Hmm.
there's so many things that, and so many different entities that they could, partner with. Um, the whole military thing is, I'm sure, Rona didn't help with all of the things
The
of that nature
licenses.
too.
Yeah.
So,
Um.
but
Here's a question I actually put out on my last. on my chat last week when I had Trap, Vic, and Dickerson on.
Okay.
If you hypothetically, and I think we may have talked about this before, I can't remember, but I don't think we talked about it this in depth. Hypothetically, the winner of the collector's event on the cruise gets to sit down with the design team to design like the following year's watch.
Cruise watch.
Yeah. Like not
Right.
like the watches that they put out before like the cruise with the blue and how they
So,
have
yeah,
like
it has
four or
the Ocean
five.
Voyage on it.
Yeah, like the Ocean Voyage watches. I'm talking about like how they did the Chaos for us last year.
Okay.
Like if you could like if you were to win the collector's event hypothetically and have this opportunity hypothetically, what would you design on your watch? And you can do everything from soup to nuts. Like you could put your whatever movement, whatever bezel material, whatever dial material, anything. What would you do?
Venom Hybrid, Ron
Okay.
R150, Damascus Steel,
Hmm.
um, and mother of pearl variations, maybe 2 or 3 colorways.
Okay. All right. I like that. I really like the Damascus steel idea. You don't
It'll be
see
great.
enough of those.
As big as that thing would be, it would definitely be
Beefy.
semi-price prohibitive because I mean, T's in here. She's got a couple of them. I've got one. When that Damascus steel came out with the sandstone, that thing is
Mm-hmm.
still. I mean that is absolutely hands down. That was a Christmas gift, and yeah, that one is just amazing in the hand and to see it. If I didn't do Damascus, I would probably go with that two tone that I talked about of gunmetal and aubergine or gunmetal and
Yeah.
rose
Yeah.
be a good colorway. Um, yeah,
So I
I was
think
gonna go Venom originally, but I think the Venom case configuration in general limits the wearability. Where the hybrid obviously is more SAS in its case
mm-hmm.
and cradle, and the give and orientation makes it a much easier watch to do. And I would say I would definitely do a watch, and I don't know if they've done it. Um, is to do the two sizes, 52 and 40, so that you have a his hers kind of orientation
So
for
everybody can
all
play.
couples and everyone, or just or just for anyone that is not as into the big monster watches. And a Venom Hybrid is a big beast. I mean, it's 18-20 mil high. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, it's a big old animal. So um,
Sorry, give me a
yeah,
second.
sub one Damascus platinum single Torby. Torby. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would rock that in a heartbeat.
Has Invicta ever done and if I'm not sure if you would have an answer for this. Has Invicta ever done a dial as like a leather, like a black leather dial?
I personally have not seen it. Jay Moore's asking, do I have a favorite set? I think he meant Sabaqua Noma, not Sabaqua Specialty 1 through
Yeah.
7. Um, man, That's tough. I mean, I like them all for all the reasons that I like them individually. To pick one, um, obviously the easiest answer is to say the 7 because it combos so much of the earlier designs. Um, I do really appreciate the 2. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know that I could pick. I mean, I've got at least one of each. I mean, I have 1 through 7. Um, some I have more than one of, but and I love them all for how they're done. Um, wow. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I would say I could more easily pick which Venom I like better than I could a Sand. Um, personally, I like now. I like a Gen 1 caseback. I love that Gen 1 Venom caseback with
Okay.
the mirror dome. Um, but I really enjoy the bezel on the 2. So
Yeah.
that would be something I would look at. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Sand. Well, and I think that just, I mean, that speaks to how long the Sand 3 has been around. Because I mean, it used to be, they came out with the 1, they retired the 1, bring the 2, retired the 2, bring the 3, retired the 3, bring the 4, and then it was like, no, 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 bring the 3 back, and then they retired 4, go 5, on and up. But the 3, I would say, of all of them, has the most dogged. Well, no, that's a bad word. The most earnest collectors really, really enjoy the 3 a lot. Um, I like to say the 5 is unique in that it was a red dot winner also.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, so on you now, bud. You're on the hot seat for that question.
On for Sand,
Yeah, for a Sam.
uh, by far Sand 1,
Okay.
by far. Um, and Sand 2 is the second.
Okay.
Um, I have, like I said earlier, I have the 1-3 that I wore when I did the underwater stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I don't have a ton of sands that aren't 1s or 2s, but I do have this, the Heritage. Um, if I remember right, this is a 5, correct? As you get higher up into the sands, I start losing like the differences between the designs and stuff like that. Um,
Right.
in all honesty, so I know what the 1 definitely looks like. I know what 2 definitely looks like. Um, but I have the Heritage.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I have that one. Yeah.
Um, and then I have the blue. This is still to this day my only blue label.
Really?
The 7 with the diamond.
Yeah. Now, I mean that. I mean, not to take anything away from that, but yeah, that is a. I mean, if you're going to be down to 1, that's definitely one of the top 5 to have in Blue Label for sure.
Yep.
Because
And
the way they do the colorways.
I wanted that blue label X-wing, but that thing flew off the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. It's funny because there's been two variations of that. Um, the um, the
The
original.
Heritage is a 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 2 3s then.
Hmm.
But I would say my go-to is definitely the specialties.
Yeah.
But then on like the sands, definitely sand ones. I have 4 sand ones.
Yeah.
So, um,
Yeah, 6 variations. Yeah, I mean, I think probably about the time I started collecting, the sixes were definitely heavy. Because I remember them talking so much about, they're working on the seven, they're working on the seven. Um,
yeah,
but
it'd be
yeah,
curious to see if they ever come out with an 8, what it's going to look like.
I I know they're working on it.
Are they?
Yeah, I know there was conversations about it. Of course, I mean with with Rona, there's always a slowdown with everything, and
Right.
from design to prototyping and everything. Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh, the
was.
Aquaman. Yeah, I believe the Aquaman was on a six. Um, 'Cause
Um,
I remember seeing that one come out with the green colorway and everything. That was a cool looking watch.
I wish they would make more twos. To be honest, I love, I love the stand two.
Yeah,
And I'm kind of upset that I have to send that new stand two that I just got back. But
yeah. That's disappointing. I mean, let's face it. Production is production, and nothing's perfect, and things happen.
yeah,
Um, but it is sad when you have to. Now it's not an LE, is it?
it was, and it's a Swiss made LE, like fully Swiss made.
Okay, okay. Now I'm starting to have some
Yeah,
heartburn. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
When you get
yeah.
into, when you get into LEs and you guys start sending stuff back, um, that's where it gets painful.
I know I'll never find another one, unfortunately.
Now, where
But
did you
it
get
was
it?
to eBay
Oh God.
from the same guy that I got my Sand one from,
Mm-hmm.
and the Sand two, which I still have it here. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can pull it out. Um, it was gonna match the Sand one that I just got from him.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
here's the one that I love that I got a couple
Mhm.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Here's the two, same dial, same with the
Yep.
black spinel, everything. And if it wasn't for the issue with the crown protector, and um, the pin
Okay.
and collar pins, which I can't.
What's the LE run on it? Do you know?
I believe it was 300.
Ooh, those are really tough.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, the Sand 2 that I'm sending back, it has the crown protector is extremely loose. The and it I took it to a local jeweler who has a lot of familiarity uh with Invictas, and he
Mm-hmm.
tried to BS me saying that's just the way that the crown protectors are. I'm like, no, it's not,
Oh.
because like I have other Sand 2s, like, and I have no issue with the crown protectors on those. So I mean, I can probably send it to Invicta, and have them do it, but I'm up in the air right now on what I want to do with it. Like,
Right.
just because
Yeah.
of the limited edition on it,
Yeah.
I
That
know I'll
that
never find another one.
right. That right there. If luckily I've not had an issue with it with an LE.
Right.
Christy had a slight issue with the Pro Diver LE, but that was resolved. So, um, but it wasn't a manufacturing flaw. But anyway,
Yeah. So I actually may try to contact the Invicta warranty center or service center tomorrow, to
yeah,
see if it's something that is fixable.
personally that I would definitely lean in that direction just because
Yeah.
of how difficult it will be to ever duplicate that again. Um,
Yeah.
that's gonna that's gonna be a tough one to match up on.
100%. 100%. And when I saw it, and and I said, "Oh wait, my one that I just got looks exactly like it." I
Right.
didn't even realize it was the same seller on eBay. I
Oh,
didn't
really?
know that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and um, I'm like, I'm picking it up because it matches my one perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And if they ever made that same kind of combination in a 3 through 7, I'd probably pick those up too, just so I can like fully complete the set. But I first off, I don't think they would ever do it because they're not Swiss movement, they are Swiss made. And I'm not sure if they are even getting those movements because I think they're ETA movements now these days on those.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be my guess too.
Yeah. So um trying to think. I'll tell you what, my one of my favorite new watches, yeah, Chrissy just said it, is the Pro Diver Cruise Line. I just got this thing. And first off, I love the crown protector on it.
Okay.
But the thing that really sold me on it, because I was on the fence. Like I like the design of it. I was on the fence. But the thing that sold me, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it.
Uh, got a Carnival Liberty limited edition. I'm getting a
Number
little bit of
one. Number one of 952.
wow.
Yep. And when I showed this to Trap the other day, before I even bought it, um, he almost had a heart attack. He video chatted me on Instagram because I had a question for him on something, and he video chatted me and he said, and I showed it to him, and he's like, "If you don't pick that up, I'm going to." And it was $109.
Come on.
Yep, 109 bucks plus shipping. So I think it came out to like 125, 130 with shipping and tax, but still.
Yeah. That's
And I love the blue.
yeah. Yeah, that blue is super cool.
Yeah, it just pops, and it's a Grand Diver. Um,
Right.
I believe it's a Swiss parts movement. I believe I can look it up real quick. Um, I believe it's another ETA movement
Okay. So
before.
Jay Moore's asking for the adrenaline party, what watch? On a 2020 cruise, I had a bolt with the yellow silicon strap and yellow cable. Um, Trying to think what else. I don't know that I have that many like you know obvious yellows. If I was going to go that line, I'm not sure.
I didn't have.
Between now
I
and
don't
then,
have any
I'll
yellow.
I'll definitely figure something out.
I actually didn't even go to the adrenaline party. I was doing something else. Something else was going on that I went to, and
Probably. Well, I know the broadcast was going on at the same
maybe
time.
that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Um, yeah, because that was the last night after they did the chaos launch, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so we went right from the chaos launch to the back of the ship just to kind of vibe out and relax for the last night type of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, we
But
probably would have been back there, but we had a note in our cabin saying, be sure to show up for the adrenaline party. And so I was like, okay. We had no idea, what was going on about the whole, king and queen thing.
the
So
king and queen.
it was so funny because we were up, we were up on the the rows of sun
The
chairs and
chairs,
everything,
yeah.
and we were standing there, and Kendi and her husband came by and were talking to us, and she said something, and I think Todd read that we're going to have a new uh, something or other, and or it's going to be someone, and he rattled on about not saying king or queen, but something about it, and she's like, I bet it's going to be y'all, and we both looked at her like, what? No. And all of a sudden they called her, Todd called her name, and I was like, oh my god. So then it was like, so we had to go all the way down, and then we had to go past the frog, right, and then all the way around the end of the pool, and then back up the other side, and of course you're yelling, but who wasn't yelling at that point? And
Right.
we're getting close, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't think they're here, and I'm like yelling and waving, and one of the production people saw me waving, and they're like, no, we found him. So it was like, it was hilarious, but
That's
that
funny.
that was so much fun. I mean,
That's
that was
funny.
that was crazy.
I remember sitting. I was in the back of the ship. I was watching the broadcast, and you
Okay,
guys just came. If I remember right, you guys came through those glass doors where the elevators came, and then it just like you had the
oh yeah,
crowns
yeah,
on. I'm
yeah.
like,
Right after that, we got done, and we were walking through, and we were like, well, let's see what's going on. And yeah, we walked into the back, and we had our crowns on and everything, and then that's when it was it RJ and Lynn, or Jay Z and Lynn. It was one of the two. It was Jay Z and Lynn,
yeah,
and she sees us. She's like waving us up, and that's when I was sitting there, and we were both sitting there talking to her and everything, and yeah, that was so funny.
yeah, yeah. That was. I was like, where'd you guys get the crowns from? Because I didn't even.
Yeah, right.
I was having a dumb moment there. And then somebody came over to me and said, or came over to you and said, "Hey, congrats, king and queen." I'm like, oh,
Right.
but oh man,
Yeah,
I think I was a
that was.
couple of drinks in at that point too.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was probably what, 10, 11 by then.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were well underway of lubrication. So yeah, that was. But I mean, it was unexpected. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was we were both still kind of humbled by the whole thing, because I mean they had Mark up there winning it, and of course Big John and all of them, and
right.
Courtney and Mike and everybody, and I was thinking man, it'd really been cool to win, but it was a lot of fun to meet everybody, and then all of a sudden they're like, and we've got this new category, and then it all happened, and it was like, but yeah, the really funny thing is we'll probably be, if all things go back to normal, next year, we'll probably be the only one that will ever have reigned for 2 years, because we didn't have one this year.
That's
So
awesome.
but yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it.
I was joking around with RJ a couple weeks ago when I did the leading up to the unboxing video I did for the Bolt,
Right.
and we were joking around. I'm like, yeah, man, you got to tell like AL and Rose Tours that we need at least a 7-day cruise for this next one because we're making up on lost time. But now I'm thinking about it. The more and more I think about it, I'm like, I barely survived financially on a 4-day cruise. How the heck am I going to do on a 7? This.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, that unboxing was super cool, man. That was super cool. But
I was shocked. I originally thought because like I was saying earlier, I was pretty much hounding RJ on that Akula,
right.
and
Right. Right.
I knew that they were launching the combat version at uh during the Florida week.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
I'm like, oh, I'm thinking the entire time they're sending me the Akula. I'm like, all right, cool. Like,
Wow.
and
Right.
then I open that thing and I'm just like, I figured out what it was earlier in the day because I did see Invicta Watch post something about tune in for the unboxing tonight. I'm like, oh, okay, it's the graffiti bolt. But I'm like leading up to it that whole week, and that package was sitting on my desk for a couple of days, and I'm like, man, that Akula's gonna look nice on my wrist. Fooled you. Um,
Right?
but yeah, that was cool. And then I wound up buying the Akula anyway. So,
Hey, there you go.
easy, one new purchase per day. Vic, stop your enabling. Um, I did
So
just
you've
get.
talked about eBay quite a bit. Is there particular sellers or something that you go to on eBay, or you just kind of scour around, or like
I
what's
pretty
your
much I pretty much scour around. There are a few collector, like a few sellers that I do have saved that I look into quite frequently.
okay?
If I remember right, not too long ago, maybe about 6 months or so ago, MG started a page, so I guess he's selling now.
Oh, okay.
Um,
The guy
I
that
don't
does the polish
the
work, was it?
chroming, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
yep. So I'm pretty sure he's selling some things now.
okay,
Another one is and it's not related, but Bulldog Enterprises.
okay,
Um, the guy that runs that, I actually found out who it was on Facebook. His name is Peter Tran. Really cool guy.
mhm,
And I bought a couple pieces off of him. And this guy here that I bought the San 1 and the San 2 from is just a random guy that I found from, searching just Invicta on eBay and seeing what
okay,
comes up.
right.
Because I've been, and as much as I like shopping for like the Shop HQ pieces and things like that, I'm trying to, and this kind of ties into what Mike is asking, in regards to what I'm looking for now. I'm trying to find some of those pieces from a couple years back that
That you
I
missed
missed
out on
out
before you started.
before
Yeah,
I
yeah,
started.
yep, yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff out there. Like, I guess you can call it like the Gen 1 Akulas. Um,
Okay, right,
that didn't have the version before this one.
right,
I guess.
right.
Um, where it's much more like subdued, with like the function pushers and everything like that. So, those have caught my eye a lot recently. Um, I'm looking for. I want a couple more platinum selects if I can find them. Um,
Yeah,
and if
those are
I,
hard to find.
yeah, they really are. I got really lucky when I found this one.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I've seen a couple more Akulas on there that are the platinum select. But the color combos just I couldn't see myself wearing them all that much.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then I'm always looking on for something that either has like an AO7
Hmm.
or like
Do you
a
know MG's
7070.
sell page by chance?
Not offhand, but what I can do is Keeman's asking that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Keeman, I'll send you a message once once I got the once I find it up on
Yeah. So
my eBay.
if you would, like, after after we close out this broadcast and everything, if you want to go back into the comments after this is posted up, you could
Okay.
throw that in there too, and I'll go back and pin it for everyone to find
Okay.
it.
Awesome.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
You got that sub Aqua 2 loaded in diamonds? Um, so except for the sub Aqua 2 that I'm on the fence of if I'm keeping or returning, um, this is the only other sub Aqua 2 that I have, and it's a Grand sub Aqua 2,
Hmm.
with the 8040, and
Yeah, that's nice.
I
Yeah.
bought this in store too. Um, and
Okay.
it was funny. I was trying to figure out exactly how long I've been collecting, and it has to be around like the at least April-ish of 19, or
Okay.
I'm sorry, August-ish of 19. And the only reason I say that is because My mom and I are huge New York Mets fans,
Okay.
and we were on our way into a game in New York, and I convinced her on the way in to stop at one of the malls in Jersey because I knew they
Hmm.
had an Invicta store, and I walked out with the buy two get four. Um, so it has to be like August of 19 is when I started, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But this was one of the pieces that I picked up
Yeah.
in the store,
Yeah. That's nice.
and yeah, I love this watch. It's a beast though.
Oh yeah.
It's got some heavy weight to it, but
Yeah.
um, for as heavy and big as it is, it wears extremely comfortably.
Yeah, the bracelet design on those are really nice. I mean, it's not, this massive articulated, bracelet or everything, but the
Right.
way they put it together is a pretty comfortable bracelet. I think
Absolutely.
sometimes what happens is if you don't put a big enough bracelet on a big watch, you really get this top heavy
Yes,
overbalance, and it makes it uncomfortable.
100%. The bracelet that, and it's the same bracelet that they put on the one and the two. They didn't change
Right.
the bracelet design.
Hmm.
Um, but it's not folded link, but it, like you said, it slinks really well on the wrist, and it's really easy to wear.
Hmm.
Because I have a Grand Sub one too,
Yep.
and it's the same. I have the same thing to say about that one. It's big, it's beefy, but it's a very comfortable watch to wear.
Hmm.
It's the Sand 2 Limited. I believe it is.
The grand.
Yeah. Yeah, it's limited to 2000. This is 124.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
but yeah. Um but yeah, man, I mean, then another one of my favorites is Pro Diver with the dual deployment clasp.
Yeah, with the
I
reserve class
always
on it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
always love these kind of clasps. I love leather bands that have butterfly clasp on them.
Yep.
To me, it screams luxury, and it saves the leather a lot
Saves the
too.
leather a lot. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally agree.
So,
Yeah. The so it's funny because the pro divers that came out with the inaugural R150s actually had that same reserve clasp on those as well.
oh really?
Yeah.
I'll have to see if I can
Yeah.
find one of those.
Uh,
Good luck.
yeah. So those were the watches weren't limited, but the movement actually has an inaugural limited edition run of the movement inside the watch. So
Oh,
like
so it was like the
on your guillotine, it actually
yeah.
says inaugural, and it'll tell you what number of 1,000 that the movement is.
Oh,
So
so
Rhonda
it was
actually gave them inaugural movements.
so right when the R150 came out. Then
That was the first R150 was in that. There was six of them all together. There was two silver tone, uh, platinum and black. Then you had two gold and two tone, and so there was all six of them. And then each each one of those watches had a inaugural movement of 1,000 per colorway.
okay, so 6,000 movements then.
Yeah, and then they did one more inaugural movement, and I think it was in the Venom Platinum Select, had the Ronda R150 inaugural in it, and it's the one that, like on your Akula, you've got the stamp on the back.
Mm-hmm.
The stamp,
Yep.
because it was an auto, is actually inside under the exhibition case back on the inaugural guillotine.
Oh, Vic, there is never a stop point. We all know that Invicta comes out with 3,000 to 4,000 watches and designs a year. They're always going to design something that catches my eye and says, "Ooh, that's pretty. Let's add that one to my collection." And it's
So
only
I
going
have
to get
Grand Octane Arsenals. J Moore, yes, I have quite a few. I have I don't know, maybe 8 or 10. I've got an Arctic White with the SW200. I've got a few others. Of course, I have the Punisher one in the Grand Octane. I'm trying to think. Oh, and I've got the Torby that they came out with the diamonds, the one that I had with me on the cruise. How about you? How's your Grand Octane?
no Octanes, no Arsenals. The biggest piece I have is that new the new Gen 3 C Hunter that they just came out with not too long ago.
Okay, what is that, like a 52?
No, I think it's 58.
Oh.
58.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's thinner, but it's got that unique bezel on it. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I haven't got one of those yet.
Um yeah, I got that. Actually, it fits really comfortable actually. The way that they did the bracelet on it, again, pretty nice.
Yeah.
Makes it very wearable. Um
Yeah.
and
Kimon, do you have one of those? The Platinum Select Venoms? Because, yeah, that was, I mean, when that came out, I was like, I mean, because when I first saw the R150, I was just like, I was mesmerized by it. And of course, first time I grabbed the Pro Diver Platinum Mother Pearl. Then I went back and I think there was a price drop or something. I grabbed the Black Mother Pearl, and then I definitely then I definitely grabbed that Venom, and then if memory serves me, I believe the very first Heritage was a Pro Diver with a Black Mother Pearl and diamond markers, and it had an R150, and it was actually limited to 150.
ooh,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that
you
one's
have that
actually.
one?
Be right back.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Um yeah, I don't have any octanes or anything like that, but um I do have another Subaku specialty coming in. That should be here hopefully Wednesday at the latest. I'm still having issues with UPS. So, I think I brought everything out that I have in my box.
Mm-hmm.
I actually am gonna start building out my drawers like you were telling me about. How you store everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I've already been looking on IKEA. So,
So, in case you're interested, I've got a new dresser system that I'm gonna do.
oh boy.
Uh, my daughter, she's a AutoCAD designer. She's
Okay.
actually putting it in AutoCAD for me. Oh, there it
Nice.
is. So let's see if I can get this right or not. Yeah, it's not. It's
Yeah.
not one.
There it goes. There it goes.
Oh, did it go?
Yeah.
So that's the R150, and I think I've got number 94 of 150.
Wow. And that's a
And it
diver?
actually, huh?
Is that a yeah, it's a diver.
And it has
The reserve class.
the reserve butterfly, and then it's yeah, black mother of pearl
That's
with the
gorgeous.
with the three station marker diamonds. Yeah. So
How
this
long
one
ago how long ago did that launch?
a while ago. This was if memory serves me, because this is 28996. So it's 28996. That's the model number. And
Okay.
if memory serves me, I'd have to look at my YouTube because I've done all of these specs on all of my Heritage, and I'm pretty sure that's the first model number that they came out with. Trying to see what else. Let's see. So water resistance actually is this Grand Diver? It may be Grand
Yeah,
Diver.
it's a Grand
Only
Diver.
because the water resistance on it's 500 meters.
Okay.
Because it's a full, like you can see, it's a full screw down on
Yeah,
the case. Like it's fully screwed down. So
it's built like a tank.
oh yeah. So Christy grabbed this one. So this is, let's see if I can get this one to focus.
Yep.
All right. So if you look on the guillotine, it'll say inaugural movement on the guillotine.
Wow. That's pretty awesome, man. Yep. I see it now.
Yeah. Ooh, that camera's far away. So yeah, this one, let's see, what is it? The full readout says limited inaugural edition, and then it'll give the number. So 165 of 1000. Yeah, and when they did this one too, so they did sapphire front and back when they did these.
Mike, I do not have the skeleton on the sub one.
Um,
I've looked at it a little bit, but I haven't picked it up yet. I haven't pulled the
I've got
trigger.
a skeletonized dial on a 1, but I don't think it's an auto. I've got a limited edition meteorite sub 1. Of course, it's the wrong dates. Killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
You have
Don't make me go grab that blue label Tria and hurt your feelings.
Oh, the tree is so nice.
My precious.
Precious. I can go get my other tree too if you want. I mean, I have the blue dial with the twisted metal.
Yeah, the Jay Moore he grabbed the gold tone with the platinum. Yeah. Yeah, so they did this, so there was two of these, so it was platinum mother pearl and black. Then there was two gold, plat black, and then there was a two-tone plat black. And those were the initial 6 colorways but they all had sapphire crystal, they all had the reserve clasp on it, and all of that. So, yeah. So, we're pretty much over our time by a little bit, and I don't want to take up too many people's Sunday, but do you want to tell everybody tomorrow where you're going to be, who's on, all that good stuff?
Yeah, man. So tomorrow I will be on my Monday night live chat. We're gonna go an hour earlier than I normally go. So I usually go at 8 Eastern. I'm gonna go at 7 Eastern. The main reason for that is I didn't find out till later that Shop is having a marathon week this week. And I don't want to kind of compete with Shop and things like that. So
Yeah,
um,
understood.
we're gonna go at 7, and I am having 2 of the OGs of Invicta, the guys that have been doing this for quite a bit of time.
Hmm.
I have Godfather, who you had on a couple weeks ago, and
Oh,
I have Mr. Invicta, as Trap calls him, the one and only Rich Oso.
yeah, nice.
Um, so I'm gonna have those two on, and then the following week, I'm actually really excited. I don't want to give away any kind of hints or anything like that yet, but um, we're gonna
Here,
kind
just
of take
hold on. Just tell me real quick. Just
yeah
just whisper real
John, 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 ask Christy.
quick.
Um, I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, so yeah, so next week's gonna be really cool, and
Yeah.
then um, I guess I'm gonna be jumping on here soon. Actually, this upcoming Friday. I just remembered I will be doing what Trap did with Steve from the Watch Corner on
Okay.
this past Friday, the beers and watches.
Cool.
So I'll be doing that on Friday with Steve.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
So,
All right.
but yeah, man,
Well,
I
then
appreciate you having me on.
oh, hey, absolutely, buddy. I mean, like I say, I won't steal someone's line about, something, but, you know, a lot of this, started, but what, what continues us is this, family vibe connection that we all have. And, my hope really is that I can have as many people on as wants to be on, and when, not if, but when we're on that next cruise and we're
Oh,
all standing around and we're all going to be just, I know you, I saw you, hey, I know, but, and I really want the awesome atmosphere that we had at 2020, like
yeah,
10 times more.
yeah,
And it's going to be awesome.
yeah. I can't wait for the next cruise.
Yeah,
I think
it's going to be
between the
epic.
amount of time that it's been since the last one and us, like you doing the lives and Trap doing his lives, me doing my thing on
Yeah.
Instagram, people like Meat and I, jumping into the fray, and
Oh
um,
yeah.
you know, everybody that's doing like all these live chats and things like that, and we're all getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Um, so
And
so
I
when
mean
that next cruise,
that's the whole point of this. I mean, I know we all have a particular, love and admiration for, for Invicta and other watches. Like I said, I've got Hamilton and other things, and, and that's fine, because I think it's the commonality of all of that. It makes the initial conversation easy,
right,
but I think just in general, you know, Invicta collectors as a whole are just a different breed of people that we all want to, enjoy each other and get together and all of that,
right,
um, and all of that. Uh, yeah, Jay, you can either hit me up. There, if you look in the description down below, my email's in there. You can hit me up that way. You can find me on IG or whatever, and we can figure out a time to get you on the calendar. I will say, and I'm extremely blessed with this, that I'm already into May.
that's awesome, man.
So I have unbelievable. I mean, it still it amazes me that I've had this much, um, this many people. Oh, he doesn't have Instagram. Okay, yeah, email. Yeah, absolutely. Hit me up, email, um, and we'll definitely set something up. But I mean, I'm truly honored that so many of y'all want to be on and want to participate in the audience and everything. It really does mean a lot, and so I feel very fortunate to. Um, be the mouthpiece of having all of us get to know each other that much more. So
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate everyone. Thank you, Kenny, for being here. Thank you
Thanks for
all
having me.
in the audience and all the great questions and conversation, and everyone in the chats, getting to know each other a little bit more. Every time we do these, I mean, you know, I really do appreciate it. So with that, I know we're a tick over, but that's all right. Hmm? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And everyone, Trap is going to be going live at 5. Um, you can all find him, Trap Vision 3D. I think he has his broadcast in upcomings. If not, subscribe and you'll see the. Oops, sorry, don't use that word. Uh, hit the buttons that make you know what's getting ready to happen, and we'll all be there in a little bit. But thank you,
And
Kenny, again.
then,
Thank you, everyone, and until the next one.
thanks,
Enjoy
guys.
your Invicta timepieces.
Yeah, man.
I'll see y'all.
All right.